All right, well, I guess we'll go here for Dynasty Nerds. Nothing like following Des Bryant, you know? So I'm Rich Dotson. I'm with DynastyNerds.com, and we're blessed to be able to sponsor the main stage this year. And, you know, I want to talk a little bit about like what we do at Dynasty Nerds, talk a little Dynasty, but also kind of show you all what we're doing with our app and how we plan to progress in this space and give our Dynasty players that follow us and anybody that plays the tools that they need to be successful in their leagues. So like at Dynasty Nerds, that's what we focus on, right? Like who to buy, who to sell, who to draft. Because that's Dynasty fantasy football as a whole, right? That's what we're trying to do and do it better than the rest of our league mates. And we're trying to give you, whether it be the tools that we use or the podcast we give out or our website, all that information so you can be successful in your league. One-stop shop. So at our website, you know, we try to make sure we provide as much free content for people that are interested in Dynasty as possible, whether it be articles, rankings, podcasts. We have such a great staff of writers that write tremendous articles that come out on a daily basis to give you their insight on Dynasty fantasy football. You know, our podcast comes out every Wednesday. We've been lucky enough to do the podcast for the last 10 years, and we feel really blessed in this space to have a podcast that has a large reach amongst the Dynasty community. So we do take great effort into that to make sure we put out a quality show every week, but also just focus on things that are going to make a player better every single week. And we do that every Wednesday. That podcast comes out, and we do a bonus show as well, a part of our Nerd Herd. X, Twitter, we're on there like everybody else. If you guys want to give us a follow, that'd be great. Same thing as this, we promote our writers, promote our tools that way. And then our paid service is our Nerd Herd. So with the Nerd Herd, we try to give the Dynasty players the extra tools that they need or we think would be helpful to help them get the edge on their league mates. Because that's what we're all doing in Dynasty. We're just trying to get that slight edge over our league mates where those leagues are top heavy or bottom heavy, because it's the one decision that you can make in Dynasty that can affect your team for a 10-year period, a 5-year period. But even if you talk about a 3-year period, I was talking on another panel, that is so long in Dynasty fantasy football. It drives me crazy when somebody's like, oh, this player's only got 2 years left. 2 years is a long time in Dynasty. If you go back and look at your roster, how it looked 2 years ago, just 2 years ago, it's probably going to look a lot different than it does today. So we try to focus on the little windows and the large windows at Dynasty Nerds. We call them expert rankings. I'll just call them rankings. You know, no G though, but we have rankings just like every other Dynasty site. We try to make them as pretty as possible for you. The Nerd Herd podcast is something that you get as a bonus subscription by joining the Nerd Herd. For us, we feel it comes really useful during rookie season because we take a real in-depth look at these rookies. We spend months watching their film, breaking down their tape, and we think we found over the years that we have a very high success rate on our rookie breakdowns. So with an extra podcast, it gives you an opportunity to hear every single our thoughts on every single player that we have out there. This is one of my favorite things about our website, the Nerd Herd subscription, and probably one of our most used tools is the prospect film room, right? So what we do is we give you an opportunity to watch these rookies' games, but watch them in a condensed form. So, I mean, I'm sure some of you guys remember Draft Breakdown from back in the day. They closed shop about 5 years ago. But once they went away, I knew as a Dynasty player, that was something that I need. And we can sit here and talk about rookies all day, but as a player, you should put your eyes on these rookies as well. And what the prospect film room does, it lets you watch any player, just Caleb Williams, and we put you in position to watch every snap that they were involved on that play. So you can watch a Bijan Robinson game in 5 minutes, and we have a ton of all 22 film. We try to use mostly all 22 because sometimes for like a receiver or a running back, it's not what they do when they just catch the football. What do they do when they're not involved in that play? Do they block well? Are they a good teammate? there's a lot of things you could discover on tape, and this is the same exact tape that NFL use as well. So we try to give our users every possible rookie that can be drafted. We're going to give you anywhere from 4 to 10 games on that rookie and let you go sit there and watch an entire game. You can watch a game of Bijan in a bathroom break, you know? So you could be sitting there and be getting smarter on Bijan Robinson and hear the news like, oh, everybody loves Bijan. Why do they love Bijan so much? You can sit down in a bathroom break in 5 minutes and know exactly why everybody loves Bijan so much. So the tape gives you an opportunity to put extra work in, because there might be something that you see that somebody else doesn't see, and that one game can give you the edge over your league mate when you're going to draft that positional player. So the Nerd Score is something we've been working on for a couple years. It's run by Jared Wackerly and Garrett Price, and So the Nerd Score, what they do is they break down every rookie in this draft, and they give them a tape grade only. So their rookie scores are based on what they see on tape for that rookie. And what we've been found out, now we've done this for a couple years, is their Nerd Score as Dynasty analysts has outperformed NFL draft capital. So their rookie breakdowns and their scores that they give these players ends up translating better than if you just went off where that player was selected in the NFL draft. So we're very proud of the Nerd Score so far. It's a great tool for our users to give them opportunity and judge a player just on what they saw on tape. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? We have a Discord channel. When you play Dynasty, one of the funnest things to do in Dynasty is talk trades, talk about your team, talk about this great trade you made and how you took advantage of this league mate and he's an idiot. So in our Discord channel, it gives you all that opportunity to talk with people for like what we're doing here, right? We're coming to these Expo because we're all like-minded individuals. We all enjoy fantasy football. We all enjoy Dynasty. So this is going to give you opportunity to be in a room with thousands of those same people and talk Dynasty fantasy football. So the Dynasty Nerds app. This is something that we've been working on for years. And anybody who's in this space knows it's hard to find a good developer. We found the best one, we feel. So when I said earlier, our goal at Dynasty is to help you win championships. And we all know as well, if you play Dynasty, one league's not enough. It's just not enough, because once you draft that team, you're like, man, if I know what I knew now, I would do better. And then you join another league, and you're like, oh man, I messed that one up again too. But if you give me one more chance, the next thing you know, you're in 15 leagues. And definitely in today's days, there's so many different platforms where you could play Dynasty Fantasy Football. But it's hard to go back through all your Dynasty leagues, all these rosters, and try to remember who has what. We build an app to make the game as easy as possible for you. These are pretty pictures of the app. What's that? Oh, and the app is absolutely free this weekend for anybody who wants to download it. So all you have to do is download the app, free to use all weekend long. We'll get that, yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you download the app today, it's absolutely free to use. It is free to use just like any other app that's a paid app. It's free to use in a generic form until you join the sub, and then you're going to get all the aspects of it. If you download it for this weekend only, you can input all your teams. The whole app is functional for you for absolutely free for the whole weekend. So what does the app do? Team sync. So like I said before, we all play these different platforms, whether it be Sleeper, MFL, Yahoo, ESPN, Flea, Flickr, FFPC. All you have to do is go in, input your league name, your MFL name, your Sleeper name, for any platform that you play on that we currently host, and it will import all your leagues automatically on the app. We currently host MFL, Sleeper, Flea Flickr, FFPC. We are adding the manual button back where you can manually upload all your teams as well. And we have some more platforms that we are working on to add here for the future. So my favorite thing about this app that we built. And the number one idea I had when I wanted to build this app was the league analyzer. Because I feel like the hardest thing to do in Dynasty is not get stuck in the middle. Because like I said back there, it is so easy in Dynasty to get stuck in the middle because you have these teams that are blowing their teams up and they're on the bottom and they want to be bad. And you have these teams that are just really top heavy and really good. And this happens after a couple of years. So it's very easy to get stuck in the middle with a decent team and you think that you're better than you are. What the league analyzer does is gives you a bird eye view of your league as a whole. How many times have you been like, I need a receiver? Then you're going through all your leagues to see who's strong at receiver, and by the time you get to the 11th team, you don't even remember the first team you looked at, what team they had. This app is going to show you every team in your league, what their strengths are and what their weaknesses. So it's way better to go, I need a receiver, go into League Analyzer, and go, oh man, John Doe over here is loaded at receiver, and he needs a running back, and I'm really strong at running back. It expedites the process. And sometimes when you're making the trades and you're in leagues, you want to get through that pretty quickly. You don't want to go through and have to make a trade for Dalton Kincaid, and then all of a sudden you're going through every league to find this player. This will show you right away every league that you're in. By a switch of a button, you can scroll through all your leagues and see exactly where you stand, our app. And there's two modes to look at it, because we have Dynasty mode and we have Contender mode. Because there's big differences, right? Like, where do you stand up from a draft pick standpoint in your team long term? And where do I stand now as a contender? So our contender mode is basically redraft fantasy football, right? You're in there. How's it look this year? What are my odds to win? How am I looking? This will show you that as well. Custom rankings. We felt this was very important to put in the app because how many times have you gone and looked at somebody's rankings or used somebody's trade calculator and be like, man, these values suck. These guys are not good dynasty analysts. They have no idea what they're talking about. What we allow you to do is go in and set your own custom rankings. And what you could do is you can create multiple different rankings as well and easily scroll through each set and make the app operate off of your rankings only. So now when you're looking at a trade calculator or you're looking at the league analyzer, it's going to show you exactly how that league stands from your own viewpoint of how you rank the players. If you feel like just because I want to marry Dalton Kincaid, I have him way too high, you can bump him down 10 spots and then see where the value is. If you think I'm off base on Derrick Henry, you can lower him yourself and then see where the value is. So we allow this option to look at your league in your own viewpoint. Or you might you like our app, but you love Ryan McDowell and the way he looks at Dynasty, and you input Ryan's rankings in there and make it operate that way. Any way you want to form it, we give you that option to customize the app so it's functioning right as the way you view it, and to go back and forth between each one of those rank sets, whether it's ours, individual person, or the multiple different rank sets that you name. So our app's going to show you positional values, and again, this is off your own rank set positional values or ours. It's going to show you the strength and weaknesses throughout the whole league. You can toggle through quarterbacks, wide receiver, running backs. It's going to give you all their positional values, where they stand as wide receiver. It's going to give you the option to look at all your player shares to see if you're top heavy. You have too many shares of DeAndre Swift. You have too many shares of Justin Jefferson. You don't want to be so insulated on one player. It's going to show you what you have there. It's also going to show you the free agents in your league. So when you hear a player news break and the backup running back or the third string running back is now the backup running back who might be the running back, instead, you don't want to go through all your leagues to see where he's available, right? Like, is he available here? Is he available here? You just click player shares on our app. It's going to immediately show you everywhere he's available in every league that you're in right away. Multiple platforms. So if you're hosted on 4 different platforms, it's going to show you if he's available in all 4 of those platforms. Trade calculator and browser. Trade calculators should never be viewed as an exact science, unless you're Dynasty Trade Calculator, then it's exact science, because those guys are great. But it's a really good tool, definitely for the beginning Dynasty players, right? Because a lot of Dynasty's a growing game. Everybody's they hear about, they want to try it out, but it could be a little intimidating. Draft picks, old players, young players. So sometimes like a tool like a trade calculator just kind of give you another outside view of like what, for example, what we would think of where that trade stands, just to kind of protect you a little bit, to make sure you're not making a mistake. And sometimes you might view something one way, but that most of the community views it a different way, and you could have gave a little bit less to get that player. So that's where the calculators come into effect. We also have the trade finder, the trade browser. So that's going to allow you to go in and see real-time trades. All you do is enter a player, and you can see real-time up to the day trades made in, whether it be just your leagues, all sleeper leagues, all MFL leagues. It's customizable, so you can see just super flex leagues, just one QB leagues, just your leagues. You can look at trades. It gives you an opportunity to vote on those trades as well with these star buttons. So if you want to kind of get feedback from the community as well, you can go on there, see your own trade, and vote on it. But sometimes before you make a trade, you want to make sure, like, hey, I wonder where he's going everywhere else. Well, the trade browser lets you see real-time trades in real leagues. So you can see what the going rate is, because when you play Dynasty or Fantasy, it's a community-based value, right? Like, enough people are talking about it on Twitter, it's going to change the perceived value of a player. So this is going to show you real-time trades, and you might just go in there, again, bathroom break, browse in real-time trades. I'm like, wow, this player's going for way cheaper than I thought. I'm going to go throw a trade offer on him. And all you have to do is double-click that player's name. It's going to bring you right into a trade calculator. And what we like about our trade calculator is it imports your leagues. So if there's a team that you want to trade for, that team is in your trade calculator. So instead of going back to a trade calculator, then looking at his team, see what he has, then going back to the trade calculator, all his assets of the team that you want to trade with are right there in your calculator. It's already connected to your league. The mock draft tool, it's fun. I mean, who does not like the draft? Definitely around rookie time. So I feel like mock startup drafts are fun to kind of give you a real value of how you really value a player, because rankings are one thing, but a startup draft's completely different, because now you might be chasing value, and you might say, I have this player ranked here and this player ranked here, but then when you're really on the clock, that's like putting your feet to the fire, right? Like, that's really going to show you who do you like more. So the mock draft tool is going to give you the opportunity to do that, all your rookie drafts, and same thing. Your leagues are already imported into this app. So if you want to do a mock draft and you have 3 first-round picks, you just go right to your league. It's going to bring up that mock draft. It's going to draft based on your other league mates' strengths, what they have there. It's going to show you all your draft picks as well. So it's going to give you a real tutorial in your mock to get you prepared and better prepared to make a draft pick in your draft class. And we have the Scott Fish Bowl in there as well, so it does give you an opportunity. The Scott Fish Bowl, big event. You want to get your feet wet, even though it's unpredictable, you can do that as well. And you can create your own custom mocks. So if you're like, hey, what if I did trade for 1-7 and 2-6? What would I get there? What does that really look like? You put in the mock draft tool, you run a couple different mocks, and you're like, you know what? Maybe I won't make that trade. I'm not getting the value that I'm really, really thinking I'm going to get here. We have a very long roadmap at Dynasty Nerds. We are trying to be a one-stop shop. So the things that we plan on bringing to this app is a constant list of growth. If anybody has had the app since day one, they already know how much has been added since then. And we have a big update coming soon. One of the biggest ones is we'll be the first Dynasty tool integrated into the Sleeper app. So Sleeper's going to launch their minis section, and you'll see other sites in there like the Fantasy Pros, Walter Picks. Dynasty Nerds app will be in there. Same thing. You can use it inside the Sleeper app on a limited basis. So we're just going to give you a little taste and hoping you come back and sign up and become a Nerd Herd member. But it's going to be in the app for you to use for free in a limited aspect like the League Analyzer and the Trade Calculator. Is that right? We're going to bring the Dynasty GM to the website. So right now it's just an app. So you can't use the GM on a website, but we're going to bring that to the web as well. What's that? Oh, you can? I don't know what I'm talking about then. Okay. 2.0 you will. We plan to enhance our player cards drastically, and this is coming with the next month. Where right now, if you bring up our player card, you tap at any player, it's going to bring up all their historical data. But this card's going to be a little bit more in depth. It's going to show you their dynasty value, their contender value, where that value has been going. So you can find the flow, ebbs and flows, and where the dips and the values are. It's going to give you ADP information. It's going to show you where that player is rostered. Can I trade for him? We want to have it so when you click on a player, any option that you could possibly think of or any information you need in the fantasy space will be under that player card. Whether it be dynasty, whether it be redraft, whether it's how he's been trending, what his statistics are, where he's ranked across this space, that player card will give you all the information you need in Dynasty, and also the tools that go right from that player card into a trade calculator, into a ranking set, to give you the quickest, easiest form to play Dynasty Fantasy Football. Because the more leagues you join, the more time it's going to consume of your day to go through all these leagues to make the necessary moves that you need to be a contender, to come out on top. Because we all know in Dynasty, if you stay stagnant, if you're not making moves, you're going to get passed up by the rest of your leagues. How many times have you seen a trade go down and you go, oh, I would have gave you more than that? Well, guess what? You're not out there being active enough. You're not using, doesn't even have to be these tools to better your Dynasty team. Because that's how you win. That's how you get better. You make the right moves. And that right move might be a trade. It might be a draft pick. Or a trade you don't make that could be a lifesaver. So you asked what hosting platforms we have currently. Our goal is to add now, our next step is to add an ESPN, CBS, Yahoo. So we want to make sure that when this app is in your hands, you have a one-stop shop to all of your leagues. You want to be able to have an app where you can set lineups, look at leagues, all from one spot, and have the liberty to play over multiple platforms. It's nice not to scroll through Sleeper, Flea Flicker, MFL to look at all your teams when we give you the opportunity to have them all right there on your phone in one place. So that's our goal. We want to give you the information, but not just information, tools to help you be successful in Dynasty Fantasy Football, understanding and knowing that you're going to be in more than one league. So our goal is to make it as easy as possible for you to manage your teams through our app. And that's it. That's our goal at Dynasty Nerds. It's been our goal from day one, is not just to give you information, but to grow the game of Dynasty in itself. We all know it's the greatest game that you could possibly play in this space. And our goal from here for the future is to build those tools for you. And with that, if you guys have any questions about the tools or Dynasty, we're here to answer. Yeah, so we'll tweet out everything. Every time we have a new update, we'll have a tweet out. We try to update. We really do with our development team. We have updates coming almost every month. Some of them are subtle, some of them are big. They're all announced on our website. They're all announced on our social media platforms. So we try to make sure that you can get informed and know what's coming.
Also on our Discord, that's probably the best place to get just constant feedback, but we'll tweet it out as well.
Yeah, we listen on our Discord channel. If you're like, hey, this app would be great if it had this. Like, we're listening. That's what we want to give everybody what they need to win. So if you feel like there's something missing, you submit it. We talk it over. If we feel we can get in there, it gets added to the list.
So are the app and the website synced? Because I have a manual upload on the website. It's not on my app.
So we're adding manual leagues to the app very soon. Then it will be perfectly synced. So we're almost there. A couple weeks and it'll be.
So I also had the manual leagues or CBS. When that happens, will it override the manual, or will I have to upload the CBS and then delete the leagues that I manually loaded?
Well, we don't have CBS Sync yet, so you can just stick with the manual. Once we add CBS Sync, you'll be able to just do it automatically.
You would just automatically sync and delete the one you made.
And then delete the other two that I manually did.
Correct.
Because when anything happens manually, you got to manually change it. Once you sync your league, it automatically updates everything. So if a trade goes down, if a draft pick is traded, the app automatically takes that information in and updates your league on our app.
He's the developer. I'm the product manager,
Yeah,
but
the guy with the hat on. Yeah.
that's our wizard, Brian.
I hate to be, the guy who's the thanks there, but are you planning, because you didn't mention it, are you planning to add full-time the Dynasty Fantasy World Championships as one of the leagues you can sync with? Or is that going to absolutely stay manual for a while?
No, our goal is to add as many platforms as possible, but we also have to, we're just going in order. Like, how many of our users are on that platform? Okay. So we'll get that. Like, hey, I play in this platform, but we only have maybe 500 people that use us that play in that platform. Okay. And right now, we're just trying to go down that list of, like, our highest requested. Like, our number one requested site is ESPN. Then it's Yahoo. So we're just kind of going down that list, getting the API and all this information we need perfectly to add them. But everything's on that list because eventually we do want to be able to have every league platform on there.
So on Discord, you'll announce when you add new platforms.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Yep.
And we have don't we have a roadmap on Discord? So on our Discord channel, we have a channel that you can actually go see our roadmap for everything we're adding in this app. So, like, there's not a lot of surprises. Like, oh, hey, ESPN's coming in 2 months. The manual leagues is coming in 2 weeks. So we give you a roadmap of kind of what we're doing. Because, again, we're constantly adding to that, and some stuff's a year away. It takes time to build this stuff. So one thing I've learned in this space, we're like, oh, let's build this tool. Let's have it by August of 2026.
And on that public roadmap, you can also submit feature requests, and then we'll, get back to you on timelines with things. But always looking for more ideas, trying to get them all in.
Anybody else? Well, thanks for listening. I really do hope everybody gets a chance to download the app. Maybe you don't subscribe, but it is free this weekend, so I would encourage you to get on there and feel if it makes your Dynasty experience just a little bit better. Is this tool for you? And I get it. Not everybody's here to go out and pay for stuff in fantasy football. But if we can provide something that makes your life easier and give you time back while also making you just a little bit better, that's what we're going to try and do. And we hope that you invest in that. And we're going to take your investment and put it right back into this to make sure you're getting a better experience next time that you use that. Because when you play Dynasty, like I said in the beginning, all we're just doing is trying to find that little edge over our league mates. Because this isn't redraft, right? Your competition, year 3, year 4, is way greater than it is year 1, where it's an equal playing field. Things start to get real top heavy and real bottom heavy. And for you to navigate that, the more information you have, the more power you are going to have to put yourself in position to win titles. And all we care about in Dynasty Nerds is giving you the information to put you in the best spot to win titles, because nothing else matters. Doesn't matter how good team looks on paper. It doesn't matter how many draft picks you have. In my opinion, the only thing that matters is how many titles have you won. That's it. Because that's why we play the game, right? Not to have the most draft picks, not to have the sexiest team on paper. It's to win your Dynasty Fantasy Football Championship. Because I know for me, in my oldest league that's 19 years old, we have a trophy. And that trophy has everybody's name on it and every year they won. And I could give 0 cares about the money in that league. All I want is that my name on that trophy and nothing else. Because then my grandkids will love me a little bit more because I'm a champion. So thank you all for listening. I hope you get a chance to check out the app, and we'll be around the rest of the day if you have any Dynasty questions. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.